New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. New guaranteed income pilot will give hundreds of dollars per month to poor black women in Georgia in an effort to improve their financial stability and mental health and tackle the racial wealth gap. The program, called Her Hands, will give about $850 in monthly cash, no strings attached, to up to 650 women for 2 years. Launching earlier next year, and distributing more than $13 million, it is poised to be one of the largest guaranteed income pilots programs in the United States. Led by the Georgia Resilience and Opportunity Fund, a coalition of local elected officials and nonprofits, and the nonprofit Give Directly, the program will include participants who live in Atlanta and other parts of suburban and rural Georgia who are near or below the federal poverty line. The program will study how such unconditional cash transfers affect the financial and mental well-being of participants. It is initially being started in Atlanta, a city with some of the most pronounced income inequalities in the United States, and specifically in its Old Fourth Ward neighborhood where Martin Luther King Jr. grew up and promoted the idea of guaranteed income. The median black family in the United States owned $3,600 in wealth, about 2% of the $147,000 that the median white family owns, per 2019 research from the Institute Policy Studies. And in Georgia, about 26% of black women live in poverty compared to 14% of white women. Black women have also been hit disproportionately hard by the pandemic and accompanied economic crisis, being more likely than other groups to face job losses and eviction. And black people overall in the United States have experienced higher rates of hospitalization and death from the pandemic than their white counterparts. Black women are among the most likely group to experience cash shortfalls that make covering basic needs difficult. This isn't the result of poor choices, it's the result of pervasive economic insecurity that has the sharpest impacts on women and communities of color. That was stated by Hope Wallensack, who is the executive director of GRO Fund. And she also stated that guaranteed income is a step towards creating a more just and equitable economy. The idea of guaranteed income or free money with no conditions to improve economic and other outcomes for low-income people is not new. It's been tested at large scales in countries such as Kenya, India, with positive results, including improved nutrition, and in Finland, where recipients reported improvements in health and well-being. Give Directly, the nonprofit co-leading the pilot in Georgia, ran the world's largest and longest universal basic income experiment in Kenya. United States, other guaranteed income projects have shown promise. In Stockton, California, 125 people were sent $500 in cash each month for a year. Research found that recipients have better job prospects and improved mental health, and that they use the cash to purchase basic necessities. Meanwhile, for a year, Mongolia Mothers Trust in Mississippi gave $1,000 per month to black moms who said it made a difference in their lives. In Oakland, California, is currently running a guaranteed income program giving $500 in cash each month to 600 low-income families of color. In the United States, a federal report from 2019 found that nearly 40% of Americans would not be able to cover a $400 surprise expense. With this in mind, Rep. Ilhan Omar introduced legislation this year that would create a federal guaranteed income program to send $1,200 a month directly to most Americans. In promoting the legislation, Omar pointed to the success of the government's own experiment in giving cash to people. Millions of Americans received 3 rounds of stimulus checks during the pandemic. These payments were found to sustainably alleviate economic hardships, helping people buy food and pay bills, and many have helped reduce anxiety and depression for some people. Say that for the people that are, doing this work, and they're really trying to work with the black community and to alleviate a lot of the situations and the problems that they have by doing this experiment. I'm all for it, because for a lot of families, for a lot of black families out there, 500 or $850, like that's life-changing money in a sense. Like for people that just work a regular 9 to 5, they're like 850, that's technically not much. I passed that in a week, or I passed that in a couple of work days. But for people that are below the poverty line, like 850 is like, that's a lot of money, right? It's like they gotta, in a sense, really try to scrape and like save pennies just to, really add up to 150 or whatever it is. And even with that, that's still not a lot of money, because they have, bills. They got a lot of overhead that, they got to pay for. Like, they just got the basic needs. They got a water bill, they got electric bill, they got, rent. If they have a job or whatever it is, they got to sit up there and deal with transportation or gas or however that works. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that in a sense keeps people in a system of debt. It's a constant hamster wheel that society, that the government basically has people basically on. And once they get you fixated on being on that wheel and being fine with being on that wheel, they can just do whatever they want to sit up there and do. They'll put a couple of pictures in front of you just to change the scenery, just so you won't get bored and and get distracted from running on that wheel, right? But the moment in time that you can get something that is outside of that, and it's alleviating that hardship, now it's like you're running a little bit slower on that wheel. And now you're starting to wake up and you're realizing, you're looking around and it's like, oh, it's like, wait a minute. You had me doing this the whole time, thinking that this is all I had to sit up there and do, that this is, my only worth, that this is the only way to become, successful and make it, and to alleviate myself. And, it opens them up more to other options. And as they stated clearly in an article, it relieved anxiety. And for some people, they might have PTSD about it. It released the whole thing of, some people might, deal with depression when dealing with money, having to deal with, ridiculous bills that just seems like, they come every single day, for them, because it's always something that's trying to, take their money, right? And once that 500 or that 850 basically gets to them, that relieves, like that. People don't really understand, like, unless you're really in those circumstances, people don't really understand how much, as little as 850 or $500 can really mean to somebody. Like, you potentially just help somebody just deal with like eviction, right? Like, I'm not sure what a lot of people's rent is, but going on people who are living low income, like, some people who are like really trying to like handle like 2 or 3 jobs and still not meeting the threshold of what they need in order to feel a little bit of freedom. It's like, that 850 and that 500, it's doing a lot for them. Is giving them a lot of breathing room towards like the next month. They can actually start seeing the money, right, that they're earning. So congratulations, and much love and appreciation to any of those programs that are specifically aimed at helping black families and black women. Like I said, there needs to be more of this out there, because the moment in time that more stuff like this starts happening, you'll start seeing more things rapidly start changing in the black community. Things will literally pick up. Like, people don't even understand um, how this will start to change the mindset, the mentality and the hearts of a lot of people in the black community, because it's not going to be like, a one for all type of thing. Everybody going to start looking, it's like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, hold on, everybody's making the same amount of money. What are we doing? Like, there's no reason for like no debate. There's no reason for no argument. There's no reason for any of this. Everybody's making money. Let's push all of that old stuff to the side, and now let's start focusing on the real meat. Let's start focusing on what it is that we're really supposed to be focusing on, right? So, like I said, this is a very positive thing. I love it. I hope to hear, the results of this, in I guess like a year from now. And I hope that a lot of these people also start venturing into different financial opportunities that, they can put away some money for a time, and they can just let it sit there, and their money, that money that, is going to bring in more friends, and is going to start that cycle of freeing them from, that hamster wheel. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the story and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.